Talk to me about the earpieces. Like, what do they
Oh
tell you
yeah,
through the ear?
I
Is it just time? Like, what is it?
man, when we first started, Mikey, it was you probably remember this. Like Mark Gayton was the timekeeper for many, many years. And I don't know if you know Mark Gayton, but
Sure.
yeah, man. And but used to like TVs were so important, but he used to use a pencil. That's it. And he used to use fingers. Like, like one finger would be 5 minutes gone. And then if he'd give you a one and another one, that'd be 6 minutes. A one and two would be 7 minutes. And
Right.
two fingers would be 10, and like so he counted me down that way too. So we used the finger rule, and then when you had to go home, you had 2 minutes to go home or 3 minutes to go home, your go home cue, he'd stick the pencil in his mouth and say, let's get, go home, fucking. And then sometimes you look over at Mark, hurry the fuck up. We got 30 seconds. It's like, so I mean, that's how we got the cues for many, many years in the business. It was like when we did all the shows and live events and house shows, me and Chimmel, you played the music with a boom box. You had one extra microphone, you put it up to the boom box, you hit Hogan's tape, and then you hit the other tape,
All
you know.
tapes, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Then when I got
Wow.
a dual cassette, it was the fucking biggest thing in the world because I don't have to take out one tape and then put another fucking tape in
Right.
and then hit the play button. Sometimes the tape would get stuck and you're fucking pulling the shit
Oh,
out,
man.
and the wrestler's waiting for his entrance music and the crowd's
You
waiting.
start. You take the microphone. You're like, I am a real American.
American. Oh, fuck. I just ran into Hogan too, man. That's pretty cool. I just ran into him in Clearwater, me and my wife. He
Wow.
does his karaoke thing with his son on Monday nights in Clearwater. So we went down there. We were down there for a few days. I said, man, let's stop in. So they let us in and stuff. And I talked to Terry for about 10, 15 minutes before he started his
Nice.
show. It was nice. It was good catching up. He looks great.
Yeah.
Fucking looks great, man. Looks in good shape. 70 years old. Still looks good, man.
Yeah.
Lean, everything. Yeah.
So what do they? Did they tell you anything beside time in the earpiece?
Yeah, they tell you time. They tell you go fuck off. They tell you all kinds of shit. They fuck with you. Jerry Briscoe used to
Oh
fuck with
yeah.
me all the time in the year. They what it is they communicate time to you, and then they're going to communicate. They'll communicate a lot of things. Whereas they want to see his face towards the hard camera, lift up his face. The baby face is in a hold, and they want his face and get his hair out of the fucking way. Get this. It's
God.
everything. It's so many different things. Tell him, oh man, his punches ain't looking good enough. Tell him, tighten up his punches, tighten up this, or so many different things. And then they're giving you cues. And the cues is when you go in, commercial break or you're going into, the crossover. That's real important. And you got to count them down going into commercial break. And then you got to count them back down, the boys coming back into commercial break, coming from commercial break. And then the most important is going off the air for Monday Night Raw. Important for going off the air for SmackDown on live TV and for pay-per-views and everything. It's a little bit different now with the pay-per-views because the company owns them and it's all
Right.
streamed. And I mean with Peacock or whatever, who owns them now. So, but you can always go over a little bit times. But when you went over 11:05 at Raw, and if you went over 11:03 or 11:05, there was big consequences. Like you're talking like $100,000 per 30 seconds or per minute or something. That every time you go over, it's like 50,000 every 30 seconds to a minute. It gets expensive because you're running into the other show. So they'd flip, but never did I fuck up that. We always got the job done and got it stressful. A lot of us we had 10 seconds to get the finish in, but we'd get the job done, man. It's very stressful. So the communication got better with the IFBs, but sometimes to me it was just God, you had too many you had Vince, you had Billy Kidman running the gorilla for most years after Briscoe, and he'd be in the ear at the times, and he's trying to do his job. And then you got the agent in your ear, and then you hear Vince in the fucking background screaming about something, So it's like sometimes, man, I fucking pull that thing out. Just let me do my job. Let's get this.
Right.
But yeah, I mean the communication was good because you could talk. After that, the IFB, then we got the communication where you could flip on a switch on the side and talk back to them. So because there was a while where it was just one way communication from gorilla position to the referee to the boys, but then the referee couldn't talk back to gorilla,
Right.
So then we came up with that. So we made some adjustments, and they made the adjustments in this way. We had two-way communication.
Remember a TV where that I worked at, Bill Alfonso got fired
Oh,
because
really?
he didn't The Quebecers were
Fonzie,
doing too much double teaming, so they felt that he got buried, and they fired him, made an example out of him.
man,
Is
yeah.
was there ever any crazy rules like that that you had to enforce? That you ever have to DQ
Uh,
anybody, anything
yeah,
like that?
yeah, yeah. No,
Really?
quite a few matches where I've had to DQ somebody. I remember I was doing Gable and God, it was Irishman. God, just before I got let go, I was doing it one of their matches, and he's on the floor, and they're having a hell of a fucking match. And I
Was it
remember,
Finn Balor,
no,
Irishman,
it wasn't Finn Balor. It was Gable and somebody else. Man, it was the Scottish
Pac,
guy. The
Pac,
Scottish guy was small, small.
Neville, Neville?
No, not Neville, not Neville, but he was short hair. He had the cane. He had the um
Jack Gallagher.
Jack Gallagher.
Okay,
Yes, yes,
got it.
yes. Hell of a worker. Hell of a
Yeah.
worker. And these guys were having a fucking hell of a match a while before I got let go. And I remember they were having some hell of a match into this tournament. And they both went outside the ring, took a hell of a bump. Gable gets back in, and I'm at like 6, 7, 8. And Gallagher's still on the fucking floor. I'm like 8. I'm like, yo, like he's fucking dead on the floor. And I'm thinking, bro, you're gonna come up out of a dead cell, or you're gonna, like,
Yeah.
I
Seriously.
don't know, whatever you do, get in here before 10. And I'm like, 9, get the fuck in here. I'm through the ropes, get the fuck in here. And he pops up and he lands on the end of the apron outside the ropes.
Oh
And
God.
I'm like, 10. He just looks
Yeah.
at me. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, you're not in the fucking ring. You're on the outside
Yeah.
of the ropes. Like, I felt bad. He goes, restart the match. Restart. Like, how the fuck can I restart this match? He didn't get inside the ropes. I was like, oh fuck. That was a shitty feeling. But I mean, you have to do, to me, if Fonzie got let go in a certain situation like that, they might have been looking for a reason to let him go then,
Yeah.
because I haven't seen too many refs get let go for a situation like that, because it happens to a lot of refs. If you don't know what you're doing, the experienced refs will listen to a match and just say, hey, let's make an adjustment like this. Just do this. You guys are a tag team. You got one on the outside over here. You got one out. There's so many ways you could draw a referee and keep him, like, not looking stupid. When you can
Right.
outsmart the referee, it's better to always outsmart the referee. I always told the guy, like, if he's on, if this is the pole, like, and he's on one side of the pole, when you do something, get back to where you fucking were before. When the last time I seen it, don't stand there over the fucking guy that's selling through the rug.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So it's just like little things like that. Just if you outsmart the referee, you don't bury him.
Right.
And then there's ways of referees to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself. So that's one thing, because the boys aren't always going to protect you.
You ever count to 3 when it wasn't supposed to be a 3 count?
Very little, man. I remember I did it one night. It was R-Truth Nakamura, I think. It was something. It was like the US title. And fucking Vince loved it. But
Wait, he won the title. He wasn't supposed to.
right, like, no, it killed me, because Ronnie told me, he said, yeah, he's gonna schoolboy me twice. I said, okay, or something like that. And I said, all right. He goes, in the second one, he gets me or something. And then he schoolboyed him twice and kicked out. So then he schoolboyed him again. I counted to 3 because I thought that was fucking it. I'm thinking, this has got to be it. I'm like, how many times are you gonna fucking schoolboy him? And it was a fucked up finish. And I'm like, Ronnie, you told me twice, not 3 times or something, whatever, or it was vice versa. And he goes, oh, my bad, dog. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I fucked that up. So I thought we were gonna have to redo it, retape it, because it was taped, I think, at the time on SmackDown. And Vince said, nah, fuck it. No, I love it. Fuck it. Hey,
Wow.
fuck it. He counted 3. That's it. Match is over. We'll work it out some other way. I love it. I love when it's real like that. Oh
Wow.
shit. Okay, I fucked up because Ronnie fucked me up, but then, all right, well, I didn't fuck up.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, there's sometimes the live events, but never on TV. I can't really say too many. Maybe once on TV, and that was a match right there.
You counted my shoulders down a lot. Three
Yeah.
counts, but I
I'm
don't know.
sorry. I hear you.